What's up, guys? I'm Ethan, 602 Crate Late model, Fast Farm. Welcome or welcome back, whichever the case may be. It's practice week. So we have practice this weekend, Clarksville Speedway, and insert final countdown music now. I'm just kidding. It's a copyright violation. I would never do that. Anyways, today we have got to finish up pretty much everything. I don't have time any other time this week. Tomorrow I could do some, but to be able to have it done today would be awesome because I work 24 on Friday, and then Saturday practice starts at 12, and thus ending the off season. So pumped about the off season being over, but also lots to get done here. Actually, not a lot. That's messed up of me to say, because it's not a lot. We have to, on the car, we got to change spark plugs. That's the last little piece of the puzzle for the car, for the engine stuff anyways. And then I got to tighten up all the body bolts and stuff. I never really did tighten those. I got to make sure, go over like all my suspension parts, make sure that they're tight, all the bolts and things like that. Just make sure everything's going to stay where it's at, because if it goes for a ride, so well, and I don't really want that. So that's it on the car. Do have some tire work stuff to do. I got 3 new tires and wheels from a guy for a really cheap price. They are old beadlocks, but when you're beadlock poor, you kind of do whatever you got to do. So I'm not too upset about it at all, really. I mean, I like them. They're not light. Well, they're kind of light. They're not as heavy as some, but they're not as light also as others. Whatever. This one came too, but this got a plug in it. So I'm gonna trash that. Get out of here. But luckily I got a good price, so I wasn't. You can't be mad if you get a good price and one of them's just a little bit messed up. You can't be mad. Still got a wheel and stuff like that. So we got a sipe. That one, this one's already been siped. Grind, send them through the process, wrap them, and get them good to go. And we're gonna try to work on the inside of these wheels a little bit, because they crusty. So that should be it as far as car stuff goes. Gotta clean up everything, get the trailer, gotta get everything ready for the trailer, gotta get all that taken care of, but it's gonna be fine. That'll be fine. That's not a big deal. May actually do that tomorrow. Just get everything cleaned, and you know what I'm saying. Also, Renegade is coming by at some point today to bless us with some fuel. So I had to unskankify my back 40 real quick and get ready for the fuel. Sorry about the wind. I know you guys are getting hammered by that. I think it's supposed to be like 10 to 20 all day, so it's not going to be like a super warm day, but we have been blessed with a little bit of warmer weather for this final push into at least the practice part of the season. All right, so the other part of today that's gonna happen is we're gonna get all this sheet metal out into the attic. This bicycle needs to find a home, and we're gonna try to do like a mock load to try to make sure everything's gonna fit how we want it to fit, because we haven't really done that yet either. So we know things are gonna fit. We just gotta figure out exactly how we want them orientated once they get up in here. So I think the trailer is gonna have to, or the toolbox is gonna have to be really far up front here, which is fine. And I don't know. We're gonna have to figure all that. Tires, I think these 3 can ride here. And then every other spare tire is probably gonna have to go in the back of the race wagon. Which, by the way, we need a name for this trailer. I kind of prematurely called the truck the race wagon, so the trailer needs a name now. some redeeming characteristics that it has is that it's small. It's very small in comparison to normal trailers. Also, there's been smudges on this thing the whole time. Is that better? I think it's better. The trailer is definitely smaller than most of your American race trailers. But we also want to keep it farm related, I would think, probably, you know, because this is the fast farm. So I'm terrible at names. You guys come up with that yourselves. Comment down below what you want it to be called. All right, well, I don't know. Let's just get to doing it. Let's just get going here. You know, long intros. I know you guys are tired of long intros. I hear about it all the time. Long intro. It's a long intro. Well, eat me. We got a lot of work to do. Very little time to do it. That's it. All right, let's get started. I'll show you my process for doing spark plugs here in just a second, but get this one threaded in there first. It's not much of a process, and it's certainly not like a professional process. It's probably not even the right process, but it's what I do, and it's been fine so far. I got that one in there, so I'm gonna put some on it. So obviously we're gonna take the plug wire off of the plug you're wanting to change. Well, one-handed might be a bit of a chore, but anyways, there it is down in there. Then you gotta try to avoid the header as best as you possibly can. Put you a little wrenchy on there, and lefty-loosey, pop it off. Duh. That's the obvious part, right? Like if you didn't know that, you know, what are you doing? What are you doing if you don't know that? Once you get the spark plug out, you can give it a look over and make sure everything's good. I'm not an expert on that kind of stuff. I'm gonna let someone who's smarter than me look at those, and then they can make a call as to if we need to do anything. And then whatever, we'll just go from there. But the next thing I do is I'll pull out our new plug, pop it open, get our new plug out, put the old one in a said box, and then I will just mark it what hole it came out of. Like this came out of the 6 hole, and we'll put it with, sorry, I'm holding the camera with my armpit, and then we'll just put it with the rest of them. So 2, 4, 6, working on 8 here. Then I'm gonna put all those back in this box and then put them in the junk drawer. And I mean, the spark plugs are still good, they're not terrible, but I like to change them, you know, every so many races. And then that way, once I change them again, those plugs that are in the car now will come over here, and they'll be the new ones in the spare box. And then I'll probably put the ones that are in the toolbox in the cabinet, and then, you know, as it cycles out, the cabinet will go to the trash and so on and so forth. But I want to always have spark plugs around because that's something that can mess up. That's an easy fix at the racetrack. Well, at least it was in my go-karting days. I don't know about these big costs. All right, next thing I like to do is put a gapper, make sure my gap's good. You know, this plug may have come pre-gapped or whatever, but I don't trust anything like that just because I know this part came out of a factory somewhere and some way, or, you know, way off. And no matter if it's an American factory, a Chinese factory, or a Mexican factory, or whatever, they have Mondays and they have Fridays. And I don't want the parts made on those days. Because on Monday, you don't give a about your job. And on Friday, you're just trying to party. You know what I'm saying? So I don't trust, really don't trust anything made. And I always check everything. Mondays and Fridays, man. You don't want those parts. Then the obvious happens. You just put that plug back in like you saw a second ago, tighten her up. There's a torque spec to it. I'm sure someone cares about it, but it ain't me. Put your plug wire back on, good to go. The thing I probably should have said about the plug wires is there's like a little, I wouldn't call it a clip, but what goes on right here is inside of there. And you can just put the plug wire on and it feels like it's good, but until you hear it snap into that clip, your plug wire is no good. So always make sure that you do that, have that done. All right, moving forward. I know a lot of you country boys are like, I don't need that tip. I've been changing shit on tractors for 20 years. I don't care. Not everyone has. I have. So I'm gonna teach the folk that don't know. While we're down here working, we're gonna go ahead and tighten up these header bolts. Obviously, that is a big checklist item for us now after it kind of burned us in that last race where we could have had a decent finish in just a few nights out in this car. So I guess basically I'm filming this just to let me know that I did this. But every time you start the car, these headers are gonna get hot and they're cooling off and these bolts are backing in and backing out. Sometimes, you know, if you're just tinkering, you can take it out with one hand. I mean, they get really loose. So always check your header bolts if you have a race car. It might save you one night. So lo and behold, just going through that right there, found like 2 that were loose. So always check your header bolts. And you know, you can put Loctite on them, but I don't think it helps. I've heard that, you know, the engine gets hot enough and it just burns the Loctite off. So you just gotta keep checking them. And I think they make a locking header bolt. I think it's like 50 bucks or something like that, but I haven't explored that option yet. I'm hoping just constantly checking our header bolts, you know, between features and heat races and things like that. I'm hoping that is what makes a difference for us. But anyways, check your header bolts. That's done. Done. All right, now it's decision making time because these tires here are Dunzo. That one has a plug in it, so it's trash, but the wheel is good. So I think I'm gonna throw that sucker there on it and ride it out to see how it is, how it does. I think that one's gonna be probably my best option. So we'll slap that sucker on there, put you back on time lapse, and you can just hang out and vibe with me. Do you want the same song or you want a different song this time? It's your call. It's your song. Ugh. I'd like to interrupt this time lapse to let you know that is the hardest tire I've ever had to get off a rim, which is kind of concerning because those two are still good and they're also obviously seated on a bead. But this one feels like it was glued on the bead. And I'm doing nothing but absolutely mangling this tire, which is good because the tire's junk. But my gosh, this thing is just not wanting to give it up. That tire is going to be a project for someone else because I'm to my wits end with it. It's not like the bead's not budging, and all that tool was doing, if you can see, is shredding this. So I tried to cut it, but that's going to take a millennia. So it's going to sit there for a little bit until I figure out a different plan. But man, that sucks. Had a big problem, though says I took my grinder and put a cutting wheel on it and cut away the tire. Well, almost. I gotta finish it up with something else because I kind of blew out my cutting wheel and I don't think I have another one. So, yeah, we're working on it. I'm still no closer to getting the bead off, but at least I'll be able to get the tire out of the way so that I can see what's going on, because that sucker is on there. That's the full list of tools right there that was required to get that wheel out of this tire. I think that's all of them. Here's the butthole. Dude, it's not fun to get that off, and I don't know why. As I look at it, I mean, it doesn't look bad. It doesn't look like they used anything on it. It was just stubborn, man, and it sucked. Make no mistake about that. So I am very apprehensive about putting, what about safety glasses? Yeah, whenever that grinding disc flew off, I was like, man, I should really protect my eyeballs. But anyways, so that's off. We're gonna, I don't know, put another tire on it and just hope for the best. Hope that one day it comes off. I don't know. All right, finally got the tires done. Look at them right there. They look pretty, nice and wrapped and ready to go. Got the ones in there as well. So now I'm basically just I'm at not a standstill, but I'm trying to get everything together that we'll need at the racetrack. And I gotta move that yard mower so I can get up in the attic and put the sheet metal that's in the trailer in the attic, and then just wait on Macy, and then we're gonna like load up and pretend load up just to make sure everything is gonna fit how we want it, because I'm gonna get home early Friday morning and we gotta leave out pretty soon after. So and tomorrow is supposed to rain all day. So there you go. Don't forget about the Appreciate You program. Don't forget, if you got questions, let me know. So I'm gonna work on this, and then I don't know when I'll see you again. Probably whenever Macy gets home. So just stay tuned. We forgot to film loading it, but we're doing a dry run. Everything's in there. We'll show you what it looks like when we get back. We just want to make sure the truck doesn't die, I guess.
That's the best one. Put it in there.
Yeah. Best one.
Third time.
Third time?
Third time.
Anyways, we'll be right back. All right, magic moment. Let's see how much damage is done. Hopefully none.
Something sounded like it fell over.
Everything looks normal to me.
Yeah. Maybe your tool's just going in the box. Moving in the box.
That's a possibility. You gotta give them all a tug, you see. Alright. We're gonna unload the race car, so we'll leave the video there. March 4th and 5th. Plunger then toilet bowl, but we'll see you this weekend at practice at Clarksville. I think Macy's filming my nipples, but I'm not sure. Is that right?
No.
No?
Right on the top of your head.
Awesome. Alright. Like, comment, subscribe, tell a friend. We love you. Bye.